All right, let's back up a little bit. We just took a short break and we were talking about your life in St. Louis, but I'm looking through my notes and I see that I forgot to ask something that I've been very interested in for a long time. Talk to me about high school. We hit on it very briefly. You graduated at 16 because you did 7th and 8th grade together. What were your favorite classes in high school?
Math,
Math, okay. And what was the hardest math class you took in high school?
algebra.
Okay.
Uh, I did geometry and trigonometry, but I could have taught those. I understood them, and I never understood algebra.
You're talking to somebody who never understood algebra either, so I totally get that. All right. And then, did you do any? Were you in any clubs or any sports at Van Buren High School?
No, really, uh, I was in two plays, but uh, I wasn't the star of any of them.
What plays?
Uh,
What plays were you in? I'm hoping one of them was Romeo and Juliet.
no,
What plays were you in?
Who Killed Aunt Caroline for one?
Okay,
I was a colored boy.
nice.
Boots.
Boots. And what was the next play you were in?
I don't remember.
And how did? And I mean, why did you audition for the school for these plays? Was there somebody you wanted to be in the theater with, or were you interested in acting?
No, I was just a student who was in the class where they organized a play.
Oh, okay. So as everybody in that class kind of took a part in it.
Yes,
I gotcha. All right. And then math was your favorite subject. What was your least favorite subject in high school?
sports.
Sports. Yeah. Let's see.
I
What's
was 5'8" and weighed 131 pounds.
so not full grown yet when you graduated?
Yes,
All right. All right. What sports did Van Buren High School have?
baseball, basketball.
Okay. Did any of your brothers or sisters play any sports?
No,
All right. All right. Did you have any girlfriends when you were in high school?
no,
No, didn't date.
didn't date.
Okay. All right. Who was your best friend in high school?
Ralph Goodson.
Ralph Goodson. Man, almost had your own name. Your name.
Yes,
All right. Was he older than you or younger than you or the same age?
he was younger than me by a year, and we used to beset the uh, teacher uh, of geometry, and we were both in class, and the instructor was the superintendent, and he said yeah, often, Ralph and Gordon, keep your mouth shut. I want to talk to these other idiots.
What happened to Ralph Goodson after high school? Did he get a job? He stay farming in Van Buren? What became of him?
He's, last I knew, he was Bell Telephone. He worked for Bell Telephone, and he and I could have taught that class.
Could have taught that geometry class.
Yeah, and we next year could have taught the trig class.
So he was pretty good at that stuff too, huh?
Yes,
All right.
he was better than me.
Wow. Now, did he live on a farm or did he live in town in Van Buren?
He lived on a farm, but he didn't farm.
What did he do?
I think his dad was worked at the stave mill.
Okay. So somebody else farmed their property?
Mm-hmm.
And was that pretty common? Somebody'd own a farm, but somebody would rent it and do all the farm work?
Yeah. Yes, fairly common.
Okay. All right, well, let's get back to where we were. We were talking about the time 57, 58, 59. You lived in Maplewood at a boarding home, and you had a group of buddies. You guys would go to movies together, you'd double date. And then what? And then I think you said that you worked at McDonnell Douglas for a while after you worked at Vickers. Is that correct? Or did you go somewhere else after you left Vickers?
I went to Universal Match from Vickers,
And what was your job title at Universal Match?
wearing rocket launchers.
No, what when you hired, what job were you applying for? Like you were a wireman at Vickers. What were you at?
Wireman.
You were a wireman, okay, and you guys were making rocket launchers?
Yes.
All right. And was what you did on a daily basis pretty similar to what you had done at Vickers, wiring up components?
Yes.
All right. All right. And how long did you work? Did you call it Universal Match?
Yes.
How long did you work at Universal Match?
I think 3 years.
Okay, so 60, 59, 60, 60.
No, I didn't work 3 years there.
How long did you work there?
Less than a year, I think,
Okay.
during which time I got to go to Boston and remodel a rocket launcher.
Well, that's pretty cool. Now, and this is a military rocket launcher, like shooting a
Yeah.
military rocket, not a NASA rocket, right?
It was an ASROC, anti-submarine rocket.
Oh, it was a big rocket.
They were mounted on the frame group destroyer between the bridge and the radar screen.
Oh.
And somebody designed a original without a firing interrupter circuit, and so some junior grade lieutenant up east in Groton, Connecticut, uh, got to where uh, playing with it and shut the radar screen off. It and he could easily shut the bridge off, but it is were turned the other way. He shut the radar screen off it and set the boat on fire, and it like to sunk.
Oh man, I bet that was the end of his Navy career.
Well, there was all of a sudden investigation
Yeah.
investigation of the circuits, and they found that he could have shut the bridge off.
Oh boy. All right.
So they developed a firing interrupter circuit and sent two electricians and millwrights and an engineer to every place where there was one of them rockets. And I drew the one in Boston. It was parked right across the slip of ground from the old Ironsides.
Oh,
So I got to see that while I was there.
an old Ironsides is an old, tall sailing ship.
Yes,
Yeah, the oldest ship in the U.S. Navy, right?
yes.
All right. Okay. Um. All right. So you've been a wireman at a couple different places at this time. Are you starting to think that's going to be your job for the rest of your life, doing something as an electrician or as a wireman?
Yes.
All right. And when did you go to school or get trained to be an electrician?
No, I worked at Sunlight for 3 years and then quit there to be an electrician.
All right. Well, let's back up a little bit. I know you went out to Wyoming at some point in time, right?
Yeah,
When did you go to Wyoming? Was that before you were living in Maplewood or after?
57.
Okay. So in 1957, you went out to Wyoming. Why were you in Wyoming?
Because I got stopped by the cops 3 times in a weekend here in St. Louis, twice within 30 minutes.
So you had a little problem speeding, or were you doing something else?
No, my girlfriend got uh, a friend who was a cop who wanted to date her.
Oh,
That was the same Margie Massey.
okay. So Margie Massey's got another pursuer, and he's a cop. And so since he's a cop, he's making your life miserable.
Yes,
And
and I escaped to Wyoming.
and you didn't take Margie with you.
No,
You left her for the cop.
yes,
Okay. All right. What did you do out in Wyoming?
I had 3 jobs during the time that I was out there. and I wasn't unemployed a single day. I I went out there and stopped at a service station and asked a guy, well, how would a guy get a job around here? And he says, you see that El Camino up on the hill? He says, go in that tavern and ask for Lars Johnson. And Lars Johnson had been the guy Dad and David had worked for.
Well, that's kind of crazy that you meet the guy. Did you know you were going to run into Lars Johnson when you left St. Louis?
No,
Huh. So you just kind of ran into the same guy that your dad and brother had worked for years earlier.
yes. And I had to ask him if he needed a log cutter. I had my chainsaw in the trunk of the car. I had a 55 Chevy by then.
Okay, so it's 1957 and you've got a 55 Chevy, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah,
Okay. And Lars says, yeah, I need a cutter, huh?
she stood, took me up the mountain, uh, uh, and assigned me a strip of timber, and I cut timber until I broke my finger, and I was in Laramie getting it set up, and somebody next to me said, well, I'm in trouble. I got a contract to wire that building at University of Wyoming, and I had just brought a guy in that fell off a roof or broke his arm. So he says he won't be able to work for the rest of the summer. And I said I got my electrician tools in the car. I had been an electrician over at Lewin Metals.
Okay. So so you wired a building at the University of Wyoming?
Yeah. And White and Kennedy was the contractor, but it was like Scrooge. Kennedy had died. White had died, and Kennedy kept the name on the door.
Just because it was too cheap to change the name, huh?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And I worked for him till that building was done, and then I had lived at a boarding house there on 267 North 2nd Street
In Laramie?
in Laramie, and there, the building is not there anymore where I lived.
Okay.
And I worked with a couple of guys from Denver that worked on the road construction. A place called Woods Landing, and it was on the way to Denver, and I skipped, said, you go to Denver and look me up on the weekend, and I'll do my best to get you a job. And I'm going through the road construction project on the way to Denver, and that's about there.
Oh. So you're going through the road construction on your way to Denver, and what happened?
I looked in the mirror and saw a cloud of dust coming up behind me like the wrath of God. And it was Skip, and he said, I just saw a boss, and if you want to go to work here, you can. So I drove a truck that way. I drove a truck from one end of the garage, the job to another with a sign on it that said "Follow me."
So you were the lead dog, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break now that Mom's home, okay?